Okay, we're going to call this a special meeting of the Board of Equalization. It's Monday, March 25th to order. It's 9:30. We'll first have roll call. I'm Eleanor Thompson, Chair. Mr. Brett Town, Vice Chair.
Present.
And Ms. Teresa Sellers, Member.
Present.
Okay, so we've got a long agenda today. We've got 12 items on the agenda, and I guess they're all going to be by phone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I guess we're ready to start with BOE 901. 91, sorry. Brian Hayes is his name.
Brian Hayes.
Good morning.
Hi, this is Ms. Thompson from the Board of Equalization. You're Mr. Hayes? Is it Hayes or Haynes?
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Okay, tell me, is it Hayes or Haynes?
Hayes. H-A-Y-E-S.
Okay, Hayes. Hi, Mr. Hayes. Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. All the properties today are yours, all 12 of them. We're going to do them one by one. We're going to start with you, and we're going to have you tell us why you disagree with the assessor. And then we're going to hear from the assessor, and then we'll hear from you. We'll give you the final word. And we've got you guys all this week, but on Friday, we'll make our decisions. And then we'll send our decisions out by letter to you on Friday. So I don't know where you are. Where are you, by the way?
I'm in Houston, headquarters, and so we have hearings today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, correct?
And we'll all make all the decisions on all of them on Friday.
Okay, so you guys work on Friday. Okay.
Okay.
The one thing I was concerned about, you guys sent over your evidence, but they didn't send it by address. So if there's a way the appraiser could identify the nomenclature used for the evidence, as an example, y'all sent it 2024 R1553120. Normally I'm able to locate to my address, but I've had to look into each one to get the address. So if they can start off, I know you guys use a parcel, but you guys sent it in a zip file and a file name. So in order to see you guys' evidence, I had to go to each one to track down the actual address, which has made it even harder to see you guys' evidence. That's a little.
Do you have a copy of the agenda?
So, yeah, do you have a copy of the agenda?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have the agenda.
So we have them both. Or you're saying you're communicating. Well, I'll let you talk to the assessor after you tell me, after you give me your evidence on each one. How about that?
Yeah, so I'm a former CAD member also, with a former appraiser.
Oh, okay.
I also look at your evidence to discredit your evidence also, to make sure that, no offense, that you guys are pulling comps that are truly comparable to the actual property.
Okay, so let's do the pronoun thing here. You guys, okay, so we are the Board of Equalization, and we are not a part of the assessor's office. And so
Yeah.
we're a disinterested person. So you guys has got to refer to the assessor's office, but I'll let you address them after you give me what it is you want to give me. And I'm going to identify them 3 ways before you start. So item 1 on the agenda is our Board of Equalization number 91091. And we identify, as put on the paper, and is a public record, this will be account number R109891310. For your benefit, the address we have of this property is 1132 Southwest 77th Place in Oklahoma City. That's I'm assuming you're saying that's how you put your file, is by the physical address, right?
You said R109
891310.
Okay, and
1132 Southwest 77th Place.
yes.
Okay. Now tell me what you want to know us to know about that.
Here's the problem I have. That particular account, from what
Yes.
I've seen, I don't see any evidence that you guys sent. That's my problem. I have evidence from a lot of the hearings that we had, but this first batch, the first 3 or 4, I didn't find any evidence that you guys sent. Now, my appraisal experience, you know, use PEP, of course, mandates the concept of mass appraisal. You have to send me your evidence so I can do your evidence because you set that. So this concept of me telling you what I think, I've never experienced that. Normally, I'm the one that gets your value. So you give me your value, your assessment, and then I count it. That's what I'm used to because you're setting the value. So me as a property owner or a representative of a property owner, I contest your value. You normally state your value first. So I never, by the use path, that's a mandate. So I'm not, but you set the value. Appraiser go out and view a property. Property is assessed, the property is adjusted. So every year, from a mass appraisal standpoint, when the new value is assessed, you guys assess the value, give it to the assessor, give the value to the property owner. So this concept I've never experienced before.
Okay, let me explain this to you. We're here for a hearing to determine by the evidence you give us and the assessor gives us what the fair market value is of this property. Now, you want to debate somebody's procedure, that's fine. But for purposes of this hearing, you need to tell me my evidence here on the forms that were filled out and sent in. The appraiser, the county appraiser has county assessor has appraised this value at $163,500. On your form, you want the value to be set at $145,300. Now, you can explain to me how you arrived at $145,300. They're going to tell me how they arrived at $163,500. What you give us, since we are an appellate body, is whatever you sent to them. Now, we can sit here and debate it all night, all day long, or we can hear the evidence on BOE number 91. It's up to you.
Okay. So I will address the concept of not getting any information on this file after. Unfortunately, we sent in a compository amount of properties that had a average concept of 145,000. This was a bulk purchase, as you probably can see.
Yes.
First, that was $2.7 million.
Yes.
Just looking at the concept of the sales, when you break down the sales, I don't know if you can actually got it. There was only 2 or 3 properties that sold over there. Number 8 at 183, number 10 at 176. You have to go to 15, but you look at the first 5 to 6 properties. Most of the properties that aren't part of the total number of bulk sales were lower than the subject properties stated value at 163. You're looking at a 135, 100, 148, 125. So the 145 is the median value for the first 3 to 4 sales. That's why we have 145,000.
And you bought this property February the 25th of 2022. And the sale price, $152,790. So you're saying at 1 year and 10 months later, this property fell from $152,790 to $145,300. That's your position?
Yes, ma'am. If you look at the sales of last year.
Okay. All right.
If you look at the sales of last year, they were lower. Pretty much close to the same square feet. You got an 1180 sold for 100. Distressed property.
Yes.
Lot areas larger. Sales dictate the market on them. From what I'm looking at. Same year, 1977. From Southern property, I think that's a direct indicator.
Okay. We'll hear from the assessor.
Okay. My name is Kyron Wheeler, and I'm representing the assessor's office on all 12 of these today. Currently, this property, 1132 Southwest 77th Place, the square footage is 1,112 square feet. I would also like to mention that the value that is currently being protested is the taxable value, not the market value. The price per square foot of the property is $147.03. The average age of our comps are 48 years old, and the subject age is 47 years old. Our comps are closer in proximity to the subject. The comps that were provided, like he stated, they sent over 30 comps on this one. I looked at the first 6. The first 6, they're pretty good comps. However, they're a half mile to a mile away from the subject. So we have closer comparables to the subject and good quality, I should say good comps compared to the comps that were provided, less adjustments and stuff like that. Yeah, that's, if you, the major streets there are Southwest 74th and Black Welder.
And what was your median comp?
Median value is $169,900.
All right.
So may I ask a question? During the appeal hearing, the initial one was the taxpayer privy to your information that you've given us?
We have sent everything 3 different ways. They should have every file. We sent it to 2 different emails, resent them 1 time. They should have everything. I mean, yeah, that's.
So, Mr. Hayes, do you heard what the assessor says? You guys are debating comps. His
Well,
comp.
I have several things to say, but I don't have that first one. That's all. I've looked through everything they sent me, and I know I think I have talked to Tyler. I didn't have that. That's why I was shocked. The first one I didn't have. I thought that was interesting.
I have a quick question, Dave. The first document that I see in 091 that shows the assessor stated value of $156.73. Is that correct?
That is the taxable.
That's the taxable.
Yeah, the actual market value of this property is $163,500.
Okay.
On the, well, I can't talk about others. On this particular property, the value that was protested is the taxable.
That's why you're saying that he protested the taxes.
Yeah.
They filled that form out and that. Okay.
Correct.
So can someone explain to me the difference of taxable and market?
The fair market value is what a willing buyer and willing seller will agree on as the price to exchange ownership. The actual taxable value is the computation made based upon any exemptions to the property and where this particular property is below above 89. So this one's in Oklahoma City School District. Any bonds assessed depending on where? And let me ask you, Mr. Hayes, where are you calling us from?
I'm interested.
You're in Houston. Okay. So you don't have a difference in the fair market value and the taxable value in Harris County?
No.
Okay. One of the other items is in Oklahoma, residential property can only rise 3% each year for tax purposes, but the market value may grow. Some years, we had a 16% increase 2 years ago in the average property in Oklahoma County.
Yeah, well, thank you, ma'am. Let me adjust that. We just call it differently. So you have your appraised value and you have your market value here. Your appraised value is what you pay your taxes on, and the market value is what the market says. So I understand your verbiage. They just call it this. Y'all call it fair market value, and we call it something different. So I mean, it's just adjustable. Well, I travel the country doing this, so I have to adjust. That's why my first time on my first day, I'm just adjusting to the way you do it, because when it's all said and done, you control your county, so I have to adjust. So that's what I'm trying to do now.
Okay, so as I understand it now, so we've got a difference in what you believe to be the comps that are appropriate and the comps the assessor used. And you cannot address that based upon what you see in front of your face because you're saying you did not get their comps.
Well, on this particular account, I couldn't find. I
Okay.
looked through all the 6 and 7 bits that they gave to, but this particular account, like the next one, I already have from 812 Lakeside. I already have the next. Couldn't find the first one, so I could look at it. This whole day was stuff I was having trouble locating. I've been jumping through hoops trying to find certain things since last week. I don't know if it was Tyler I talked to, but I wanted to get these set up. I will be much better prepared for our next sitting tomorrow. Now that I know what I do. So it's always kind of like that for me. I have to, that's why I would have rather to come there and just handle all my accounts in 2 or 3 days. But I have to adhere to the process that you got. So with this being said, I'm just kind of filtering my way through it, but for the experience.
Hey, I have a question for the assessor's office. You said you looked at the first 6 and they were about a half a mile to a mile away, and I understand that. But when you looked at those, and obviously we have a lot more of these to look at, but did you look at the way that they're doing their adjustments? Is there a significant way in the way they're doing their adjustments versus the way you're doing your adjustments? Did you actually run any of their comps against your tool?
Yeah, so we did. The ones that we were provided, they hardly had any adjustments on. But if we put those in our system, the adjustments that were needing to be made to the subject were greater than the ones that we ended up using. So let's say, for instance, like on this particular one, if you just pull up ours, just go to the, yeah. So scroll down just a little bit. Keep going a little bit more. So you see here, the total dollar adjustments needed to be made on this particular one is a lot less than when we ran these 6. Didn't print those off because they were way farther out. But the adjustments that had to be made on those 6 that I looked at
Made them look worse than these?
Yes. Like this.
Okay.
If
So
I
your
use,
adjustments are significantly different than the adjustments that they make.
absolutely, and they're on the sheet. It didn't even look like they were making adjustments according to what we were looking
They
at.
made some, but they didn't look like they
Right.
were quite as extensive as what yours are.
Exactly.
So, Mr. Hayes, do you have an explanation for how you guys are calculating your adjustments on your comps?
We have a shared data system that is, let me be honest with you, I don't, 99.9% of the time, I don't necessarily agree. My background in credit, that's why I love to get the cash evidence, because that's what I kind of strengthen my plot against the value that's assessed. I don't normally look at your comps and try to discredit them. That's kind of the best way to do it, because I know you believe in your data, because it's your data, it's what you go off of. You guys get all of it. We have all the sales too, but I so that's why I'm kind of a little frantic this morning when I couldn't find your name. So
Then we'll hear those arguments when we get to one of those that you do actually have the data on then. Okay, it's good to know. Thank you.
one thing I will say that I did try to find pretty much all the data from this, but I was not able to. So trying to figure out. Well, I'll deal with these. See what falls dry.
Okay. So we're going to close the hearing on BOE number 91. And we're going to move to open up BOE number 92, which is 812 Lakeside Circle in Edmond, residential 1205, 11580.
115
80.
12051158.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So all I'm supposed to do is I go through the data that they presented.
They're at 258,500, and you are at 234,850. I have that this one sold for 233,000 February 25th of 2022. So this is was in that batch from the previous one. So you're up not quite $1,000 off your purchase price 20 months later. 22 months later.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm hunting for it to see if I have the evidence for it.
Okay.
121580. I think we're 12. You said 120513.
1205 and then 11580.
Do you want the address? Will that help you?
No, so I have the address. So what I'm doing now is looking through the files your agency sent me, and they're under a R number, of course. But I've not been able to locate like I've located several other days and started working on those. I was not able to locate any of the days, so I was kind of fussing at my team over the weekend and giving the data I need, but I have not been able to find that. So, I mean, I have a lot of them, but I just don't have these first ones. So that's what I was concerned today. Most of the days, I don't think I can find any of them. I've been going through them nope. But I have to go use my outlet, which is not very good. Yeah, I have the entire file that was sent, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We were sent data. We loaded into a file, had 13 different files that they sent us, but none of them have the first two. I have a plethora of many, but those R numbers are not located, not able to locate. And they sent them in smaller files, larger files.
Okay, well, what you're looking for is what the assessor sent you. But can you find your file and tell me how you arrived at 234,850?
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I promise you this will go a lot smoother on our next. I kind of go into some of these hearings blind the initial time, and then I kind of adapt. So please bear with me.
We're good.
Hold on, I'm looking through them again, see maybe if my eyes aren't working as good this morning. But they are, I'm thinking. I don't want them to say that they were here and they're not. Looking through them again, all 13 files, just gave me easy. Once again, I do apologize.
That's all right. You just take your time. And we can take them out of order. If you run across a file you're really ready to discuss, but you're saying you don't have anything on any of the ones on the agenda for today?
I have multiple prepared for the coming days, but I was not able to find anything. I planned to get this remedied over the weekend or early this morning. And I've been talking to a lot of my team this morning, nobody could.
But you need to tell me what it is you do not have. Do you have enough information on BOE number 92 to tell me how you arrived at the suggested price of 234,850?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, we present a plethora of information. With my past history, I understand that that's not really the type of information that can't take seriously. So I normally don't try to present that, to be honest with you, with all due respect to the situation. So,
okay.
Going to one more. Yeah, we sent in, like you said, kind of like cherry data. So I guess
What did you call it?
call it cherry data.
Cherry data?
Yes. Just added that, let's get it right. Yeah, I've looked through all the evidence that we've received. And that's 812. Okay, I'll use mine, unfortunately. 812, you took
812 Lakeside Circle, Edmond.
okay, it's loaded. Our information R212051152348. We have provided out 16 comps,
Okay.
34 comps sell price, different from 190 to 250,000. Most of the closest square footage inside the last one, 1362 is rather small, so I'll pivot from the first three. I don't really know how they came up with that 235,000 value. Looks like a median value between sale price number 1 and 3. Like I said, I don't really agree about that. I'm a little embarrassing, but it's true. We showed the price was selling in 2022, so the price went up with 2K. I don't think that. So I'll be at like 242,000 for profit.
Okay. Okay, we'll hear from the assessor.
812 Lakeside Circle, square footage is 1,780 square feet. The price per square foot is $145.22. Again, the value that was protested was the taxable and not the market. The major streets here are South Santa Fe Avenue and West Edmond Road. Our 6 comp report supports a median value of $260,625.
Say that again.
Yeah.
It's 2,000.
$260,625.
Okay.
The average age of the comps is 34, almost 35 years old, and the subject age is 33 years old. Again, our comps were closer to the subject, and the several that I looked at, they were not qualified sales. They were invalid.
Because they were batches or?
Some were batches, some were distressed. There were different varieties of reasons why we did not qualify that as as arm's length transaction. And yeah, that's all I have.
Did you disqualify any in the same neighborhood that they sent?
As long as they were qualified sales, we use them.
Okay.
But the ones that were provided, there weren't any that were that close. They were all usually a mile or a mile and a half to a mile. Ours are like a quarter of a mile or closer.
Yeah, I saw a couple that looked like they weren't valid comps because of the value, because of the cost on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I also saw that the square footage, which is probably what Mr. Hayes was alluding to as well, that the square footage was much smaller than the square footage of the subject property on the comps. There were a couple of them that were within there. Mr. Hayes, what did you base your valuation of $242,000 on?
On the 2 comps that I have, first one and third one.
Okay, thank you.
But you got any questions? Okay, we're going to close the hearing on BOE number 92 and open the hearing on BOE 93, resident number 121, 721, 270, address 2116. Is this Jules Trail, Edmond. The assessor has it at $324,500, and the property owner would like us to set the value at $278,600. Mr. Hayes, we'll hear from you on this one.
Ma'am, am I allowed to let him go first?
are you allowed to what?
Let the assessor
So like,
go first.
Well, you're challenging what the assessor has, so we'd like to, okay, for this one, we'll let the assessor go, just this one.
Okay. The square footage of this property is 2,439 square feet. The major streets here is North Santa Fe Avenue and West Danforth Road. The price per square foot of the property is $133.05. The 6 comp report that we ran has a median value of $352,050. All of our sales are 2023 sales. All comps are closer to the subject and more comparable. To go to what he was even requesting, that value we didn't even go to until 2022. So it's been a couple of years since we've had the value that low. And it's also the taxable value, not the market value, that was protested.
What's the sale date on this one? I don't have that written down.
2022.
Is that same batch of 222?
This was a
Different one. What was the date?
That was June of
June.
2022,
Okay.
but we actually don't have a sell price on this one.
Okay.
sale price was, $295,000 back in June 2022.
Okay, so you're in under your sale price. 18
Yeah.
months later. Mhm.
Of course, that's not correct. Looking at our sales comps, we only provided 6, and to be honest with you, only 3 are even close. Numbers 1, 5, and 6. Median sale price $250,000.
Well, wait a minute. The 250,000, is that based on all 6 of them? Because you've thrown
No,
3 out.
That's the 3.
Okay.
That's it.
And it was how much did you say?
The median both sales 250, but of course you got to add due to age and square footage size. So I wouldn't agree with the value. We've at 295. I'd be at 308 based off those 3. That's why I was saying I don't agree with. That's why I normally, everywhere I travel, I normally look at. I can't, like I said, this whole batch I've not been able to find too.
Okay, and how did you come to 308
I
then?
have found some in my on going forward. I have found some, a lot of them. So I was just wondering why today I couldn't find over the last week and over the weekend. But my team said we had it. I still wasn't able to find them.
And Mr. Hayes, how did you come to 308 then?
Using value of the higher comps.
Was that 1, 5, and 6?
Yeah.
Or some other comps?
1, 5, and 6
Of yours or of the assessor?
of ours.
Okay.
Adjusting for the side also.
So it's not going to be the documentation that we have. Have you made different adjustments or?
Yeah.
Okay, because you didn't agree with the adjustments that your system made?
Our comps, 1947. 1913, that's over 500 square feet. I don't go over 500 square feet. It's small, but 1913, 1947 is on the cusp. 493, so. 492.
What, you want to respond to that? His comps 1, 5, and 6. We have a median of 3, where you have a median of 352, 350, and he has a median of a flat 250,000. You said?
No, that was just of the sales, but I adjusted.
He's adjusting it up to 308.
Gotcha.
That's the football of the sales. No, I'm not going with that value. I know that's not correct.
Okay.
I just mentioned that.
Okay.
And that's why I was saying to the point that some of the comps that our cherry data depicted are too small. They're not true comps. So I can admit to that.
Mr. Hayes, I had a question on, it has to do with your bulk sales or your bulk purchases. In the past, we've had people come in and say, I really can't tell you how much each individual house was because it was a bulk purchase. When you're telling us that you purchased this home for X amount, is that something that you had on the list, that's what you purchased it at, or is it an average of them, or was that because it's a bulk and we're not privy to that kind of data?
Well, when our clients buy this property in bulk sale, they still have the individual price point, but they're buying in bulk because they're buying part of the neighborhood. So, actually, we don't really get that true value, but it's broken down for the second concept. That's about it. When it comes to the true value, we don't always get an actual value because it's personal, but we learn what the value is that next year we set for the tax value.
Hmm.
Thank you.
But do you know how they arrive at what to pay for multiple properties?
I'm thinking more or less, well, of course, when you're buying in bulk, you get hopefully a better deal, but unfortunately, my assessment sometimes not. Some of our clients is going and buy several properties, and let's be honest, I'm an appraiser, I'm a former appraiser, so, opinion and value, but we're sworn to a concept of integrity. Sometimes we set the market by buying too high. So, when they set the market, we have to go in and deal with the tax plan.
Well, are the bulk sales from one seller, bulk purchases from one seller?
That information I'm not sure, so I'm pretty sure no.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, anything
But
further?
I will tell you this, Harold, there are sometimes where the bulk sales are actually sold from one entity to another, and we have a name change.
Mm-hmm.
Where companies will cease to exist, and they will sell their portfolio to a company that's still in business. That happens. In my 5 6 years doing this, it happens sometimes.
I saw that in this one by watching I generally will trend backwards to see
The
what
name.
was,
The name,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you watch the name, you see
Right.
from one LLC to another, basically what it is, one company can't afford whatever happens. They need to move a boatload of property and they'll sell. In doing this, I've learned the concept of how things go with large purchasing size of real estate portfolio.
Okay, let me just say that we're now between 308 and 324. Is there a way to arrive at a mutual value on this one since you're not that far apart?
Our comps support an even higher value, so I can't really budge on that.
And 308 is as far as you're willing to go, Mr. Hayes?
I'll take, here's the point. I think that value is a little too high to just go, and the market is leveling off. So that's what, let me ask you a question. What was the value you guys had last year, Tom?
Man.
Yes.
311,000.
So, 111. And your market is still assuming, or is it cooling off? I'm pretty sure everybody's market is cooling off right now, so I don't see.
Well, let me tell you that our cutoff is December 31st. So, irrespective of what might have happened the first 3 months of 24, we shut down for valuation purposes at December 31st of 23.
Okay, understood. I look at some of the last sales that we have. The latest sale we have is the 10th. 10th month,
Okay.
23.
Well, that was in response to your asking about the trending, and I'm just saying we shut it down.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at one of the last sales, the 1013 Blue Ridge Drive. You look at my evidence.
Yes.
It's 0.64, so it's 2/3 of a mile from the second property. It's considerably smaller, but it's sold for $255. So that's a concept. Not saying that I'm looking at that as one pinpoint, but that's kind of spot on to show that the value. Now it's slightly below 2,000 square feet, so I understand what you're saying. But I'm thinking 311 around it, so I'll say 315, 316 would be fair, but I don't think a $13,000 increase for a property that's almost 2,500 square feet, because the larger the property, the less the square feet. You know that. And, I can't see their evidence, and I do apologize for that, because I am going to go back once I
What's
find
this
it and
percentage
go over all
increase?
these accounts.
311 to
My due
324.
But I'm thinking a property that sold for almost 2,000 square feet that was built 1 year after the property, and it sold for 255 on the 10th month from last year, is showing that there is a, not necessarily a downtrend, but there's a level of officer market. So I asked for 316 to be fair.
Okay, well, we're not gonna arrive at an agreed. You went as far as 311 and, no, you went as
315, 316, I believe you said.
315 and they're 324, okay. Okay, we're gonna close this. We're gonna close 93 and go to BOE 94. The physical address is 521 Foxfire Road, Edmond. The number is R121 88 1320. The assessor has it at 200,500, and you're asking 197,700. That's not very far apart.
This property sold in the last day of May in 2022. So it, it's not in sale, but I don't know if this property is distressed, but if you look at comp number one, sold a lot less, so it probably is distressed. But look when it sold at the latter part of the year. Look at the other property, 1484, both 182, which is a little bit less than the sale price of the southern property, which was purchased in 2022. Look at 1451, a little bit larger than the southern property, 3/4 of a mile away, sold for 195, and it's almost 10 years newer than the southern property. So I think that value is very much in play for that.
And what comp was that of yours?
I'm looking at the comp number 4. Sold in the middle of the year, 621. 10 years new, almost 10 years newer than the southern property, 44 square feet larger than the southern property.
So the comps you recommend that we look specifically at is comp 1, 4, and there was one other?
Well, one is an outlier, to be honest with you.
Yeah, comp 1, I agree. I think it's probably not a valid comp, so.
I'm looking more at 3, 4, and I didn't want to go over before but I didn't like to try to contradict because it's cost. So I looked at number 3 and 4 to a lot of ways. I will make sure that I have all the data for the rest of the evening. I don't understand why I didn't pay. I have a lot of it, so I think you've been making sense why I didn't have today.
Okay, let me hear from the assessor on this.
521 Foxfire Road, the square footage is 1,307 square feet. The major streets are South Santa Fe Avenue and West Edmond Road. The price per square foot is $153.40. The 6 comp report that we ran supports a median value of $201,159. All 2023 sales, the average age of the comps is 32, and the subject age is 39. And again, the number that was originally protested was the taxable, not the market value. I did take a look at the first 6 comps that were provided, and I could use the first 4. However, they were half a mile to 3/4 of a mile out. And if I were to use those 4, they actually do support our current value after we make the necessary adjustments. I did forget to write the median on that, but they weren't provided anyway. So
you saying the 4 that you use would support your value. And one thing I noticed, Tim, that there's a year factor. You said his 7, 8 years older. I mean, newer than the subject property. So that adjustment, if you're a little over 200, should that be an adjustment for the year back?
Well, it was adjusted to get to the 200, right?
So all of my properties are a little bit larger. Since I can't see your evidence, I'd like to know what your size of your properties are. If this property, not saying it's an outlier, but it is smaller than pretty much all my comps. Can I ask the size of your comp or any of them around the 1,300 square foot range? Because all my comps are showing 1,400. I have one that's 1,080. All my comps are showing 1,400 or better. I think one, which I would have to go 2 miles away. So I'm trying to see where the trend is. While my share data is finding properties that are farther away, that are larger. You're saying your data shows a concept of high value. I'm asking, does they have the same, close to the same
I
size?
can answer that because I've got it.
Yes.
So his comps are between 1239 through 1484. They fall in that range.
Okay, I just want to jot my notes down and make sure I won't have to deal with this embarrassment in the future.
Also, can you, is this particular property a rental property?
Yes,
And can you tell us what the rental,
rental property.
do you know how much you get for this a month?
No, we don't get the income. We don't do income. We're told to deal with the concept of the market value. So, if you can tell, this portfolio is based on properties that are largely bought in the company buys within the neighborhood. So because we're not buying the entire neighborhood, or we're not buying too many of these things, we're not allowed to do income.
So your number is still at 197.7, or have you adjusted that based off of just looking at comps 4 and 3?
This one I agree with the 197.
Okay.
Okay,
Do you have anything else to add?
Oh, no, ma'am.
okay, we're gonna close BOE number 94 and open BOE number 95. The address is 904 Jules Trail, Edmond. The number is R123 631 190. This was bought August of 21 for $220,000. You're asking for a valuation of $224,850, and the assessor has this valued at $261,000. What do you want to tell us about this?
So, of course, we have it purchased in 2021 for $220,000. The comps we have a total of 6 on board, 7. Most of the comps, a little too far. We only have one comp that's even close. It sold for $236,000 in 1 year. It's slightly smaller than subject property, about 137 square feet. So I really don't have a lot to say about this one. We don't have good comps. Everything's a mile away.
Okay, hear from the assessor.
The square footage on this property is 1,912 square feet. And the major streets are West Danforth Road and North Santa Fe Avenue. The price per square foot is $136.51. The 6 comp report that we ran has a median value of $267,460. And that actually does include one of the comps that were provided. That was the first comp on 2413 Santa Fe Circle. The other ones we could not use because there was different quality. There were 24 sales in there, and then other reasons they were not qualified sales. The average age of our comps are 37 years old, and the subject age is 37. And that's all I have.
So, what I heard you say, you said all the comps were bad except that one.
What's the one comp that you did use?
That's
Second one.
2413 Santa Fe Circle.
Okay, and I didn't show that we received any of his comps in our package.
Any of the taxpayers on this one?
Yeah,
I did
and it
notice,
doesn't sound like it matters because he's not arguing. It doesn't sound like he's stated that the comps don't appear to be valid.
Did you get ours though?
We did get
Yes.
your comps, but we did not receive his comps.
so, assessor's office, all of these comps are 2023 sales, and it looks like all of them are within 2 to 5/10 of a mile, so it's fairly. Just one of them 6/10.
Any questions of the taxpayer? Mr. Hayes, you have any response?
So he did lose the first one.
Yeah, his comp number 2 is 2413 Santa Fe Circle, and you gave that one as well.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping we do a Zoom so I could actually see the comps. And today, you guys don't do Zoom. No. Further question.
Okay,
I do admit that I don't understand why they submitted. So you guys didn't get our comps?
Not on that one.
not on this
Not
one.
on this one, we did not.
Okay, so I don't feel so bad. So once we can get you that. Yeah, we have, we picked out 6 and, all of them are, besides one of them,
Do you have them in yours?
Yeah, that's okay.
more than a mile away.
The assessor's office does have that. It's on our screen now. We can look at it.
So
Also, you
if you'll just forward that to
Well,
us.
this was the same PDF that we sent y'all, so that's why I'm confused.
Well, some pages might have got stuck together or something because we have all the other associated affidavits and everything. with it.
Yeah, if you'll just take a note to send us these comps.
So, Ty, let me ask you a question. When, I think, was it you I talked to on Thursday that sent me the lineup, the setup of the date?
It was me, yes.
It was you?
Yeah.
Oh, what I was trying to, when you sent me that, what I did, I reached out to just to make a long story short, I pretty much got almost every account except a few tomorrow and today. And I was like, why? How did that happen? Because you guys send it in batches like we do, but I did not get, that's why I was hoping that you could have sent me your evidence individually for each one. Not necessarily individual, but like the way you put those 12 accounts, you could have sent the data for, and I would have been better prepared because I just run it off and move a lot faster. So that's, hopefully I can do that tomorrow, but I'm going to do my best in my due diligence to search because I was just a little nerve-wracking about today since it's my first experience.
Mr. Hayes, what I understood from you though on this one, that of the comps that you sent, only one comp you thought was valid, and that was the one that sold for $236,000. And which comp was that?
That's comp number 1.
Comp 1.
Okay. The same one, 2413.
The same one that
The
they
same
used?
one, yeah.
All right, very good. Thank you.
It's 0.2, all the rest of, I mean, in a cookie cutter type neighborhood, going a mile is, of course, from the appraiser standpoint, it's not valid.
Right.
I understand what comes.
And that one is 272, just for the record, that one that they agreed on, it's 277,832.
The adjusted value.
Adjusted value. And the assessor is at 261. Okay, we're gonna close 95 and move to 96. 96 address is 1713 Northwest 177th Terrace in Edmond. Resident number 125, 151, 110. The assessor has it at 273.5. And you, Mr. Hayes, would like to have it at 268,350. Not that far apart on this one. What is your sale date and price on this one?
I had sold in March of last year.
23?
March 22, I'm sorry.
22.
For
253. The assessor has its value to 73.
500. 273.5.
That's, if you look at the other properties that the ones we have, I would question that value. From the first, we're going to stay within a half a mile. The other properties are over a mile, size number 5. It's sold for 160, so there might be an outlier there. Just weighing heavily on, well, I think maybe the median value, 2, 3, 4, 5. I noticed that the sale price, highest sale price is 267 for 1971, so you would then got the other two bags sold for less than the property number 2, and it's about a half a mile away. All these on different streets. The latter sale is the 1907, which was about 147 square feet smaller than the southern property, 7 years newer. It sold for 2.45 late in the year. So I actually think that that's pretty decent at 268.
Okay, we'll hear from the assessor.
Yes, the property on 1713 Northwest 177th Terrace, the square footage is 2,054 square feet. The major streets here are West Edmond Road and North Penn Avenue. The 6 comp report that we ran supports a median value of $285,210. The comps that we use, the subject age is 32, and the average comps are 23, but we do make adjustments for that age gap there. The comps that I looked at, I believe I looked at all of the ones that were provided on this one, but I had 4 sales that were unqualified sales, and 1 was a 22 sale.
Of his comps?
Of his comps.
Okay.
But the second and third comp, you could use, but again, they're pretty far out and they're not in the neighborhood.
You said number 2 and number 3 are not in the neighborhood?
Correct. They're farther out than the comparables that we ran.
What was the proximity of your comps?
Wait a minute. So is comp 2 1813 Northwest 176 Terrace?
Well, yes, ours are. The second and third comp of theirs. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's on 17612 Cranebrook Road.
Okay.
And 17501 Wood Sorrel Road.
Okay.
Those were the 2 that I was mentioning. But to answer your question, the furthest one out is a little over a quarter of a mile.
Of your comps.
Yeah, they're 0.31 miles.
I mean, I noticed these are some good comps, 0.12, 0.15, 0.3, 0.34, 0.44, 0.28.
Yeah.
And all within Copper Creek.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Hayes, have you ever been here? You ever been to Oklahoma City, Mr. Hayes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so we're just $5,000 apart. Anybody want to move?
Our median value is higher than the current value, so no.
Your median is 285. You're 12,000 under the median. You want to move, Mr. Hayes? Huh?
Can I ask this square footage of the property since I can't see them, and I do apologize.
2054.
2,054.
No, the square footage of his comps that he used to get it back.
They range from 1864 to 2008.
Year, range, please.
23, his age is 23 and yours is 32.
Can we factor that in, panel, please? That's a big deal, 10
It
years.
is.
Your bill does play a factor in that.
Right. And on their spreadsheet, it does factor in that there's a certain percentage drop, like 7%, 7%, 6.6%. So they do factor the age in, and I think the quality is all the same, average.
Just asking for a little leniency on the age.
Yeah.
So looking at even mine, so the one thing that you have to factor in is concept we did go over the distance they did, but if you look at my comp number 4, and my comp number 3, one is 2 years and one is that 10 years. So looking at a value of a property that sold, it did sell at the beginning of the year last year, but it's the same exact year. It's slightly larger. It sold for $260,000. So not just one property is the market, but kind of see the concept with that year. So, I mean, we're looking at builder year, and we got 8, 9, 10 year difference. I'm not saying that their calculated isn't correct or isn't, but it is an opinion. So that's what we're doing. So I would hope you factor that in.
Okay.
Do you have a response to that?
You pretty much already answered it.
You
We
did.
make adjustments based on age to the subject, just like you stated. So,
Okay, we're going to close BOE number 96 and open BOE 97, which is the 7th item on the agenda. This one is 11634 Elmhurst Drive, Midwest City, number 125641040. It sold in November of 21 for $183,000. So the assessor has it on for $226,500, and you're asking $175,050. So you are $8,000 under your purchase price, which is 2 years and a month.
Did you say the assessor was at 226,000?
226,500,
And he's at 175?
and he's at 175.
That's pretty significant difference.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
And the purchase price for them was 2 years and a month ago for 183. So he's under his purchase price.
Right.
What do you want to tell us about this one, Mr. Hayes?
First of all, I'm embarrassed. Okay. First of all, we know that's not correct. The cherry data spits out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just here to kind of make sure that things are, and unfortunately, that's what it says. So you guys, please don't look at myself as that concept. I know that is not correct. But not being able to see you guys' data, looking at my data, I can honestly tell you that it's a little bit all over the place when it comes to value. You have price range from 62 to 280,000 in sale. All but one is within a mile radius, so I do appreciate that. One apparently is very close, 1616. It sold for 175,000. It is 10 years older than the subject property, albeit pretty much the same size. So while I won't put a whole lot of weight on that, then I kind of, slide over to the property that's a little bit, what's considerably smaller, 249 square foot smaller. So right then I know that that's not a true comp because look at the sale price, it's over 280,000, so it must be heavily upgraded. And it's actually older than the southern property in 1992. And the other properties, number 2, number 4, one called comp 6.
You're looking at your comps, correct?
Right.
Yes, those are outliers. Well, I'm looking at 1325 Grand Manor, which is an outlier, sold for 90,000.
Yeah, I didn't see that comp 2 or comp 6 were valid. Neither one of those looked valid, and comp 10 was 2024. So there was only one valid comp that I could tell, and I think that's the one you mentioned. That was comp 1 at a 175.4. It was sold in August of 23.
Yeah, and the value that, and I think that's probably what they're thinking heavily on, but it's 10 years older than the subject property. So with that being said, I will make an adjustment for that year. I kind of want to, it's over a mile, but we really only have one comp that might be where that 175 came from, which doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'm at a loss of words on this. While I would say the market value that you guys said is correct, I don't have you guys' data to view it. Like I said, the data that I did view, you guys, I dissected it in my concept. But yeah, I don't really have a lot to say on this particular account on the status. I just know it should be 175.5. Even though we do have one sale that's sold for the exact same price, I'm going to take that and that's in my team. That's why I think it becomes the embarrassing part.
Okay, well, we're still need to hear from the assessor, so.
Square footage on 11634 Elmhurst Drive is 1,592 square feet. Major streets here, Southeast 15th and South Anderson Road. Price per square foot is $142.27. This one we ran a 3 comp report, and it has a median value of $228,588. The average age of those comps are 26 years old, and the subject is 28. And as was stated earlier, this is a qualified sale in November of 21 for $183,000.
What was your median value again? I'm sorry.
Yes, 228,588.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. And y'all already actually kind of touched on it. On the sales that were provided, we were only able to validate one of those. Several were unqualified sales for different reasons, distress, multi-property, and then another one was a 24 sale. But the only one that I found that was valid was actually 2035 Ridgeview. But again, it was pretty far out.
And the proximity is on your comps is 0.2 miles, 0.38, 0.34, so very close.
Correct. That's all I have.
Any response, Mr. Hayes?
Nothing but it's correct. Like I said, number 1 is the normal value. Tell the other one's an outlier, it's too high. Of course, you know that property number 4, they must do some unbelievable reservations for their property, so almost 300,000. And then the other 2 and 3 are not true comps. I did go down to number 14, but it's outfield comp. A little bit larger than the southern property, and it really doesn't help with the concept of lowering the value because expected to be built on 2 years, so we really don't have one comfort. One of those things I throw myself on the mercy report on this one.
Okay. So we're going to close BOE number 97 and move to BOE 98. Address 1529 Northwest 181st Street in Edmond, R127681-260. It sold in December of 21 for $245,000. You would like to have the value set at $256,650. The assessor is at $274,500.
What's the address? That one again?
1529 Northwest 181st.
R 2768. I stopped trying to find them in my old page. I'll deal with that later. We're only, what, $545 different?
No, you're 56 to 74.
Say it again.
You're 18,000 off.
What's your current market value?
274,500.
Oh, they have something different.
They keep looking at the taxable instead of the fair market value. So when you look at the assessor's information, there's going to be two figures. The higher one, the first one, is the one we deal with, which is the fair market value. You guys consistently cited the taxable value, which is less, and that would throw you closer.
Okay, now that I know that, definitely know. That's why I normally try to travel to these locations until I just get a good grasp on their concept.
But do you know how long we would be sitting here if we did 60 in one day? There's no way.
No,
we
man.
can do that.
No, man. Once I get the gist of it, I do 120 a day. Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the board is talking a lot. You need water. Yeah, I do this all year round. I travel the country doing here.
Okay.
So this is my first time. So let me acclimate myself to how you do things, and we'll move faster tomorrow, I promise.
Okay.
I'll be
Okay,
much
so-
better prepared.
Okay.
So,
So what do you?
this was account. Just look additions. I can see that we're not better once again. Property bill 2008 is 20.3. I'm looking at the two sales that would help when it comes to value. Those are outliers. One by year, one by distance, and both by sales. So I have nothing on this one.
Okay. Then we'll close it out. Have nothing on this.
Did you want to hear from the
Oh, sorry.
assessor?
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I was still on the last one.
The square footage on 1529 Northwest 181st Street is 2,043 square feet, with the major streets being West Edmond Road and Northwestern Avenue, with the price per square foot of $134.36. The 6-comp report that we ran supports a median value of $272,987. The average age of the comps are 29 years old, and the subject age is 28 years old. Again, as mentioned, this was a qualified sale in December of 2021 for $245,000. And other than that, that's all I have.
So what can I ask? What's your largest company use, and what's your lowest company use for its price per square foot? Because I can't see it, of course. What I'm doing.
You mean their square foot, their square foot is between 1856 and 2112.
Yeah, what I'm doing is trying to get it so when we continue, because I'm gonna be doing here for a few days, so I want to kind of see what you guys divvy up, so I can be better prepared.
Did you consider any of his comps?
This one,
How far is the distance?
0.26, 0.2, 0.28.
So you have a lot of movement in that area, actually.
0.15, 0.19, 0.17, so very close comps in the same year.
and to answer your question, Teresa, there were 3 that we could have used. It was their first, second, and 5th comp. Again, those were about a little bit further away, and more adjustments would have to be made to make it like the subject. The 4th one was a 24 sale, and then the 3rd and 6th comp were unqualified sales for various reasons.
Yeah, I showed 23 was also a 24 sale. And then I showed 1 and 3 were not valid.
And what, you said they're not valid, because I want to see, trying to see.
Typically, if I see something that's valued at, $250,000, $300,000 and the sale price is $60,000, usually means it's not valid.
Probably four
It's not
codes.
a fair market terms like that.
Yeah.
Distress property, yeah. I understand that. They kind of should know that we shouldn't be presenting those. That's what I'm gonna talk about in a couple of hours when I have to be.
We will be happy for you to fix that. It will make our jobs easier.
Let me say this, I'm a former field appraiser. I started here in Texas on doing what you guys do in CAD. So that is, to me, that's like disrespect. Don't even bring that to the table. So I understand. I'm surprised that I did not submit this data and I don't agree with it, so I don't really respond to it. I don't want you guys to get the wrong impression of me. I'm filtering it. This is what I do my first day.
Okay, so we're gonna close 98 and move to BOE number 99, which is item 9 on our agenda. The street address, 1201 Scotch Pine in Edmond. Resident number 127 811 330. The assessor has this one on for $318,500. It's sold in January of 22 for $275,500, and you would like us to set the value at $287,000. So we're kind of
You have it at three. How much? Three what?
318,500.
Okay, yeah, because what I'm noticing, big difference sometimes once you get to higher, of course, I'm noticing the value,
Right.
which actual value to the assessed value. This property sold at the beginning of 275.5. So you guys have on record.
Yeah.
Our date finalized 10th of February beyond it. Just looking at the comps, subject property 2337. Our comps, they actually listed pretty much all the comps on this, so which I don't understand why. Staying within the range, we did have a you guys probably got better, but we have a comp 12 sold to 260, the 1991 built. A little bit smaller, so I guess can't really use that. A little bit too small. Looking at the comps that we closed 0.8, number 3, 57 South Ellington. It's not live, so too low at 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so last year, right now, don't look like we have very many good comps. So, probably the best one is, don't have too much of a fight in this one either.
Okay, we'll hear from the assessor.
Property at 1201 Scotch Pine, square footage is 2,337 square feet. Major streets being West Danforth Road and North Santa Fe Avenue. This gives us a price per square foot of $136.29. The 6 comp report that we ran has a median value of $344,903. Again, all of ours are close in proximity in the neighborhood. The average age of the comps is 27 years old, and the subject age is 29 years old. When I took a look at their comps, the first 6, only one of them was an unqualified sale. However, again, these were farther out of the neighborhood, and there were more adjustments that would need to be made to make it like the subject compared to the 6 that we used.
You familiar with this neighborhood, Brett?
Mm-hmm. It's just a little swing in, swing out. It's there's another neighborhood that wraps around it.
And how far are your comps away?
Here we can do them too.
0.17, 0.43, 0.22, 0.64, 0.13, 0.1.
They're all less than half a mile. That's,
The only one
yeah.
that's a little bit more than a half.
So you guys didn't use, our number two, because that was a good indicator. 260,000 close to the 70 property, but 187 square feet off. And it's 5 years old. Because you went over half a mile, so it was done. So that would actually lower it.
Yes.
The reason I wouldn't have used it is because there most likely would be more adjustments that were needed to be made to make it like the subject. And on these, we're pretty much running it, looking at yours, but we're going to take the 6 best comps. It's based on adjustments.
I'm asking that because I heard you say one that was 0.6. We're at 0.5.
Yeah, and it was still a better comp than the one that might have been 0.5 miles away or whatever that 12. You talking about 1205 Blue Ridge?
Yeah, so the one, I'm just asking, I was just trying to help myself too. The one that you said was 0.6, what's the square footage in your building? Because I can't see it, I apologize.
Which comp of
That's
yours
the
was
comp number 4.
Yeah.
It's 0.64 miles. What did
it? Comp
what did he
4
ask?
is 2,300 square feet.
And what year is it built?
It's 23 years old. I don't have the year built pulled up on here. I have
2001.
No, the year doesn't necessarily mean the year. It's the age. So it could have been built longer than that.
Yeah, but
Longer ago.
effective year, what year was it built?
Yeah.
About that.
Well,
You said 23 years, I understand what year was it built. They don't know if they had to upgrade or what.
it would be 2001, but I would have to look up that account, and we're not talking about that account today. So
You know, I'm saying I wanted to know the effective year built, is that the year it was built or that does it have upgrades?
the effective year built was 23 years ago, which would be 2001.
Just check. Pamela, I'm sorry, I tried. Is there a way I can get a short break? Restroom?
sure. We'll wait.
Stand by, please.
Can I go down the whole 2 minutes?
Yes.
Absolutely. Take care of ourselves.
Have you done
Not yet.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. That's okay. Do you have any more to offer on number 99 before we close it?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Okay, we're gonna close BOE number 99 and go to item 10 on the agenda, which is BOE number 100. The assessor has this on for $319,500, and you're asking $276,450. This address is 705 Harrier Hawk, Edmond. I have, residential number 128-431-570. And this one sold March of 22 for $301,500. So you're substantially under your sales price, which is 9, 12, 21 months old. Okay, we'll hear from you, Mr. Hayes.
Hold on one second, please.
Sure.
Okay, so once again, it looks like most of my comps are well over a mile. I don't know where they're getting these comps from. I'm definitely going to address this. I really don't have anything to say about this property.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's all right. We'll hear from the assessor.
Okay.
The 705 Harrier Hawk square footage is 2,171 square feet. And we currently have the 2024 value is 319,500. The value that was protested again was the taxable value. The 3 comp report that we ran supports a median value of $332,793. The requested value is lower than the 2022 value. The price per square foot on this property is $147.17. The major streets are North Kelly Avenue and West Danforth Road. The subject age is 25, and the average age of the comps is 26. Again, they were qualified comparables, but they were all over a mile away. So we have closer comps in the neighborhood. I'm going to go with that before I expand my search to over a mile.
Is there a reason why you did just 3 comps versus 6?
So on this particular one, we just went with what was in the neighborhood. There weren't as many sales, but we have enough to make a report. If it was like 2 comps or only 1 comp, we would have expanded that search or even gone to 2022. But we try to keep it 2023, more recent sales, and in the neighborhood as best as possible.
This is one of those neighborhoods that if you went out of the neighborhood to the east or to the south, those homes are substantially smaller, less quality, and it'd be difficult to get.
Yes.
This is Hawks Landing, I think, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah.
Well, if I may interject something, I did notice that for some reason our comps don't always, I don't know how they set them up, but I did notice we had several comps on our data sheet, number 8, 9, and 10. They all were much lower. They were sold. One was at 24, and the other 2 was latter from 23, and they were 260. And I noticed that the other comps, 1684, is 396 square foot smaller than certain properties, and they sold on 229. So there could be a downside in that neighborhood. I don't know why we continue to pull data that's well over a mile to cut a neighborhood. So I'm going to start down.
Yeah, and then also the 2024, make sure that they don't pull those either, because on this one I showed comps 9, 11, 25, and 30 were all 2024.
So you guys don't use 2024 because it's the first month?
No, the cutoff is December 31st for valuation purposes. So we use a later comp we're outside the time.
Well, I say that come from a real estate standpoint with a sale. If you have a sale that sold in the first month of the year or the last month of the previous year, of course it's not inside that 365, but a property sales say on the 17th of July, of January, you can best believe that price point was made at the end of the year. It's just the paperwork and the sale and the closing of the actual property concept is later the next month. That's why we normally ask for a leniency of 1 month before and 1 month after, mainly 1 month after.
Okay. Okay.
That'd be because basing it on sales.
I get the closing. It's a scheduling issue.
That's the same rule that we have to use for all the other taxpayers, so it wouldn't be fair for us to change that rule.
I understand, man. I understand most cats take that under consideration for value.
Okay, if there's nothing further on 100, we'll close the hearing on BOE 100. We'll go to item 11 on the agenda, which is BOE 101, physical address 7917 South Lynn Avenue in Edmond, resident 143-311-015. I show that this sale date was February of 2022 for $184,604. You're asking for a fair market value setting at $181,500. The assessor is at $244,000. So we'll hear from you, Mr. Hayes. You're under your purchase price again.
Let me see. $230. So on the comps, hold on, am I looking at the right one? 7917 South Lane Avenue.
That's correct.
Of course, once again, our comps are pretty far in distance. But
Yeah, didn't think this was.
but I lost the words again on this. So I have no concept of lower that value. I don't agree with that value.
Do you have a value that you would like to propose?
No, ma'am.
Okay, we'll hear from the assessor.
Brett noticed it, but this one's actually in Oklahoma City, not Edmond.
Okay,
The square footage is 1,710 square feet. The major streets are Southwest 74th and South May Avenue. The price per square foot is $142.69. This is actually an unqualified sale in February of 22 because it was a multiple property purchase. There were 10 total properties. We ran a 3-comp report on this one, which supports a median value of $258,838. The subject age is 39 years old, with the average age of the comps being 45 years old.
It's an old neighborhood.
oh, it is.
The comps that were provided on this one were all in Cleveland County.
Oh, that's another thing, Mr. Hayes, we don't go outside the county. Believe it or not, the valuations are.
Hold on, you said the couple outside the county?
Okay, South 89th Street is County Line Road. When you go south of 89th, this is 79, 17. Oh, your comps.
Yeah.
So, when you go south of 89th, you're in the next county. So we don't, for purposes of valuation, the assessor stays in the county. There has to be some really good reason to leave the county. If we were in commercial sales and, you know, the only other thing that even resembled what the property was might be in a contiguous county, that is. But for residents, we don't cross the county line. So if you see County Line Road and you go west of that, you're out of the county. If you go south of 89th, you're out of the county. You go north, is it Seward? Waterloo Road. You go north of Waterloo, you're out of the county, and whatever, I gotta go west.
Potawatomi.
On Potawatomi Day. You got it? So you got to get an Oklahoma County map and don't go out of the county.
What number?
This one was 101. We're on 101 in 7917 South Lynn. That's in Oklahoma County. Our property is. You just used some comps that went beyond the county.
What comps were beyond the county? Because all my comps are within less than 2 miles.
Yeah,
So I
but
want to know for future reference. So
did he cross
County Line
89th?
Road,
Is that what he
Oh
did?
yeah.
You crossed 89th. If your numbers, what? Give me a number.
The first two comps, 2517 Southwest 92nd, 2633 Southwest 93rd.
So you crossed 89th. 89th is the county line road on the south side of the county.
hold on, those are my two closest comps.
The first two comps that were provided, yes. And everything else is farther south than that.
So everything's outside the county. All the county.
The first 6 I pulled up.
This is unbelievable. So basically the whole comp.
Yep.
Yes.
You might check your database and see if it's got a filter to allow you to filter on the specific county that you're working on.
That's the concept of sharing data. It just pulls up a bunch of data. It doesn't.
Is that AI?
I'm pretty sure she's joking.
Oh, I know. That's why I say that. But to be honest with you, that's part of it. That's what it really is.
Just had to put some levity in this.
That's one that you think. Wow. So this, for future rest, what you're saying, this entire pump, so we have a total of 30 on this one? So all 30 comes outside of you count.
Man.
Sure.
I only looked at the first 6, and when I saw all of them were, I just kind of assumed the majority of these were.
Well, the zip code is 73159 on all of them. So that's one thing I noticed. So all of them pretty much outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen that within this conference? I think it's probably the first time.
No, sometimes people bounce them out.
So I
So-
guess this is so close to the county line.
Well,
Some of these are 3 or 4 miles away.
yeah,
When you get into you have some that are in like 122nd or 102nd Street.
We can be a little rural sometimes as well with some of the properties that we're looking at.
Anyway,
okay, I'm gonna close 101. And we're gonna go to the last item on the agenda, which is BOE number 102. Street address 1608 Ridge Crest Road. Is that it, Evan? I've got Evan.
there's a Ridge Crest.
What's the number?
1608 Ridge Crest.
What's the
And the R number is 183041020. The assessor had it at 315,000. You want 278,000, and the sale was September of 21. So you had this one for quite a while, and the sale price was 273,000.
Okay, so we don't have a county receipt. Two comps that are close. 67,000 difference in sales price. And that shows, so so basically number two, sold on the 19th of January of this year is probably not a good comp.
Correct.
And 21. Hancock 21.
Oh, we didn't list them all. We only pulled, I just seen that one. Oh, that's an outlier by sale price. Oh, God. Okay, I don't have much to say about this one either.
Okay, we'll hear from the assessor.
1608 Ridgecrest Road, square footage is 2,339 square feet. The major streets are South Bryant Avenue and East 15th Street. This gives us a price per square foot at the value of the 315,000 of $134.67. This 3 comp report supports a median value of $332,532. The average age of those comps are 37 years old, and the subject age is 35 years old. Again, the protested value was the taxable and not the market value. I did look at the first 6 on theirs again. The first 2 we were not able to use. One was to settle an estate. The other one was a 24 sale. I didn't write their comp numbers. I just wrote in order their 3rd, 4th, and 5th comp. We could use, however, again, much closer or farther away than ours, and more adjustments would have to be made to make it like the subject. And then the last one, I don't know if it was a typo on my end or on their end. I couldn't even find the account. So the 2416 Appleway, I don't know if it was supposed to be street, because every time I put that in, I couldn't find it. So there was an Apple Way, but it didn't look like there was a cell there. So I could not find it. So that is all I have.
Okay, so it looks like,
What was the proximity of his comps?
2.2 and 0.23. Those are the comps 1 and 2.
For his comps, or the taxpayer comps?
That's what it, am I wrong?
I did not write down how far their comps were. I just know they were farther than ours.
Their comp 1
Yeah.
is 0.22.
Something about.
The comp 2 is 0.23. On Shalimar. Shalimar's in that neighborhood.
What about 3, 4, and 5? Because I think those are the ones that you said you considered.
1.3 miles, 1.12 miles. What's this neighborhood? I know where it is, I just don't know the name of the neighborhood. Here I go.
so you basically have a 2% increase in your price from 2.25 years. Increase in value over your purchase price, I want to say. Mr. Hayes?
Oh, you're asking me that?
No, I'm not, I'm telling you. You good with a 2% increase over your purchase price in 2.25 years?
No, of course not. You know, not from the trading standpoint, that's just what the cherry data.
Mr. Hayes, just for your information, let me go back to, I'll give you the percentage increases in Oklahoma County. In 2022, we had a 13.8% increase. 2023, we had a 16.56 increase. 24, we had a 6.796 percentage increase on the average in the county.
Which means some of them were substantially higher than that.
And some of them were lower. Cumulatively, the last 3 years has been about a 40% chance, a 40% increase on the average.
Yeah, I think the national average is about, 6 to 7% a year for the last 3 years. So I understand certain places higher, certain places slightly lower.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand.
You made a comment at the first, and we heard this a lot last year. I know I overpaid for the property, but what did you say?
Yeah, they said the market.
Especially
That's
for
it.
children.
I definitely understand. Like I said, tomorrow I'll be better.
Okay.
I will make sure of that.
Okay, if you have nothing further to add on 102, that's the last item on our agenda, and I'm gonna close that out. And I just would say to you, I don't know that this is gonna make a difference for any of the ones that have been set already for this week. Do we have some set for next week? You should watch and know the difference on filling out your forms between the fair market value and the taxable value. And both of those are available to you. And that's, your guys kept filling out and putting in what you were protesting is not the right price. It was not the fair market value, it was the taxable value. So I just,
So we were protesting the fair market value.
no, you were not.
Right.
Let me just say this to you. I don't know what you have in front of you, but if you go pull up any property, go to the Oklahoma County Assessor's property search and either put in the address, or more than likely you'll do better if you put in the residential number. Pull it up and look at the difference each year between the fair market value and the taxable value. Your guys are consistently putting in. We do not concern ourselves with taxes. Property owners do. They think there's a correlation between the fair market value and the tax, and they want to keep their taxes down. We're not concerned with that. We're concerned with fair market value.
I understand, we call it, y'all concerned with the market value, but the taxable value is always less.
Yes.
So in this, your taxable value goes up what percentage every year? Standard. What's the most?
Maximum is 3%.
3%.
That's the maximum, it doesn't necessarily have to
It's
go up
3% if you have homestead exemption.
there. But I don't wanna talk about that, cause I'm trying to tell you, that we're not concerned with that. You need to look at what the assessor says is the fair market value, that's all. Well, if you wanna call that something else, that's fine with me. Okay, so the appeal value is the total market value, final value, and the taxable. You guys are pulling that second column.
Yeah, the first column, the total market value is the one that you wanna pull from the county assessor's document that they sent out.
Okay? That's for future reference. You know, you're gonna have more of these and you might see us again next year. Just wanna tell you, quit looking at the taxable value, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna close this out for today and we will meet on Friday and set the values of these, but we'll see you in the morning, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna say bye. Bye-bye.
You almost broke it.
I'm glad you came, so you could see. This is what we're gonna be going through.
We haven't adjourned, we still have.
You got better.
Yes.
They got
Any comments from the public? Okay, so I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to
I'll
adjourn.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Gretchen?